Welcome back, everyone. Tonight's video is featuring the latest collaboration stamp set from Simon Says Stamp and Mama Elephant. These images are so super adorable, and Mama Elephant is definitely a top favorite of mine. And just in case you're not aware, these are exclusive to Simon Says Stamp and only while supplies last. So if you like it, you love Mama Elephant, head over, grab it because they do tend to sell out quickly. So here is a look at the stamp set. You can see we have 5 adorable images plus a Christmas tree, lots of smaller icons that you can use to either decorate just the card front or the tree itself. So I stamped all of the cute images and the tree onto some 80-pound white cardstock using a Copic friendly ink, and then I'm coloring the images with my Copic markers. Now, there was no way that I could have just chosen 1 or 2 images to use off of the set. They're all so super cute. I love the lights hanging in the reindeer's antlers, so I was going to figure out a way to use all of these characters on the front of my card. I'm going to create just a really simple kind of snowy scene, and it's going to come together real easy. One quick thing that I do with coloring, for instance, with my penguin is I'm going to use these same colors on other areas of my card. For example, the hat of the snowman and the boots of Santa. I try to do that whenever I can with coloring just to limit the amount of markers that I'm pulling out or have on my desk. It just saves space and honestly saves me a headache, so I don't have to think so much about which colors to use. So I try to reuse them as much as I can throughout the card. So for instance, the hat on the penguin and the berries on the snowman, and then also using those same reds for my Santa. Now, I apologize, I did not write down the color combinations that I'm using here. They're typically my most used ones, so if I've listed them in previous videos, it's probably what I've used. I just completely forgot to write them down, and I was putting them away as I was done using them. The signs that each one of these critters or characters is holding, I'm going to leave that completely blank. I think it would look really cute too to color them in browns or maybe even add a little bit of gray shading to them, but I'm just going to keep them completely white. And there are some little messages on the stamp set that is going to fit inside of those rectangles perfectly. And those will end up being the only sentiment that I'm really going to put on the front of the card. Now, as always, I will have the supplies I'm using for my card project today linked down below in the video description and over on my blog as well. You can also catch some pictures there if you want to save any of those for later for some inspiration. Now, if by the time you're watching this video, this set already sells out, I hope you're still able to take some things along the way from the card project and still be able to use them with other stamp sets that you have in your collection. So I'm just putting on some finishing touches like the boots and the gloves on Santa, just finishing up those small areas, and then I'm going to next move on to working on the background for my card. I'm going to use the HILLSIDE stencil on top of 80-pound white cardstock. This stencil is from Fawn, so I have that placed so I can ink blend on some tumbled glass, just a really light layer of that tumbled glass at the very top of the hill. Then I'm going to shift that stencil down so it is masking off that hill that I just created. And now I'm bringing in the tumbled glass again, just right above that. I know this might seem a little odd, but just bear with me, it all comes together. Next, I'm bringing in Evergreen BOUGH, blending that down into the tumbled glass, and then topping it off with a little bit of black soot. Now, to really get these colors to work together, I'm going to go back over all of them with my blending tools until they look good together. And even if you think it still looks a little bit off, once we add in these white flicks, it's going to bring the whole card together. So sometimes if you're struggling with your card design, maybe you don't like an ink blend that you used, just keep working through the process, and I'll bet that once you finish adding in all of your items, the card's going to come together for you. So here I was just using the Snow Flurries backdrop from Fawn and die cutting that out of white cardstock, and then I'm lining the back of that around the edges with some thin foam squares. I almost forgot to add my sentiments to these signs, so I'm quickly doing that with a clear block and using VersaFine ink just to ensure I'm getting that stamped perfectly the first time. Then I can work on arranging it. So my Christmas tree is going to go in the center, but I kind of played with it a little bit. Some of these already had adhesive on it, so I had to just carefully remove them and reposition them so they're gathered around that tree. And I'm using that backdrop die just as a placeholder so I knew where my character is going to go. and then I could remove the backing of those foam strips and attach that to the front. So I love this snowflake kind of border that goes around the scene. Really quick and simple to do, could very easily have been a shaker card. So that finishes off my card inspiration for you tonight, featuring this collaboration stamp set from Mama Elephant and Simon Says Stamp. And I want to give a big thank you to all of those that are following me this STAMPtember with all of these amazing collaboration stamp sets. I hope you are finding inspiration in the videos. Thanks so much. See you soon.